first game of S1cknote Invitational 6. So we're about to find out. And yeah, as we suspected, it is Tactician Test and Gladiator Mara. He's flashing Predator Kagan, but I promise, it'll be Gladiator Mara. And yep, just what we expected on the Mortal side as well. RE.NA will be using Gladiator Ashabel and Tactician Dib. So
oh, that's right. We're on the tournament realm. We can do whatever announcer we want. Oh, who do you want to start with?
Let's start with Zeri.
Starting with Zeri, just annoy everyone right off the bat?
That Zeri announcer pack is pretty fantastic.
I doubt she's going to get much play today, so this might be a nice way for Zeri to get some exposure today in the tournament.
Yeah, so there were a number of different options here for both teams in terms of which shapers they were going to put on which roles, but they went with the most conventional setup, the one we expected. In the jungle early on, what do you think about Basco versus Faris? How do you fancy Faris's chances here?
You know, it's in a matchup I haven't seen a whole lot of. I know Basco is good against the traditional junglers like Salas and Moya, and even Volok to an extent, just because Basco can 1v1 pretty well. But I don't really know how this matchup with Faris is going to go. I think Faris is going to be able to clear a little bit faster early on due to the nature of the percentage health on his reconfigure, his Q, and melee form. So I think he might be a little ahead of Basco, but I think Basco's ganks are going to be a little bit more potent in the early game due to the CC that he can bring to the table.
Yeah, I agree 100%. He has a stun, an AoE stun at that, an AoE slow, and then he has a root with his ult. So
here we go. I'm excited.
Hi, it's Zeri.
S1cknote Invitational 6 is officially underway, and right off the bat, you can see RE.NA tailwinding, and they're making a beeline for that bottom lane murder bush. And actually, RE.EU also going that way. Although both teams splitting a little bit here.
Who used their tailwind?
Those creepy little guys come out in 30 seconds.
Looks like it was Dibs. Yeah. So Dibs has no tailwind. Now both teams may meet in the center of the map near Parapet.
The skirmish begins. The Bramble Crush comes down. They catch Dibs out a little bit. He does not have tailwind. He's using pods, but a nice bombshell picks it up with Punisher on Test. So first blood goes to RE.EU. Now let's see if they can pick up another one on Varian here, forced to blink away. So even though that was just a complete game for RE.EU.
Yeah, and you can tell that that level 1 engagement was a result of both teams being familiar with each other. RE.EU pinged exactly where RE.NA was standing, near the corner of Parasite Pit with no vision. And something tells me that was a result of many, many scrims.
Yeah.
So, looks like it'll be normal starts here. Each team will be starting at their friendly power buff. I think that Faris actually has a slightly faster first clear than Basco does. And of course it'll be interesting to see which jungler goes for a full clear and which doesn't. Usually it's one team will go for the full clear and one won't for some reason. So we'll see. I think that ults are not particularly important when ganking as either of these junglers. They can both do extremely effective ganks without their ult. So I don't know if either one will necessarily prioritize level 6.
I mean, Basco could because of the extra range on Uprising, his ultimate. It can let you, if you initiate with your onslaught, get the stun, force someone to blink, having your ultimate, in your back pocket to secure the kill is really beneficial. So Basco, if anyone's going to rush 6, it's going to be Basco because Faris' ultimate at level 6 really isn't the best thing ever. It's a little weak early on before he starts getting that power going.
So it looks like bottom lane, pretty even thus far. The Tacticians, Dibs and Test, both taking a lot of damage here. And it looked like Basco just went for the buffs, while Faris is actually doing a full clear. So they're sticking to the pattern of the junglers taking diverging paths for the first clear. Top lane looking much healthier here, with all 4 people at full health. Whereas bottom lane, very volatile. someone could drop at any moment, especially if a jungler stops by.
Well, the thing is, too, there. Ooh, Horus Gaming getting taken down very low. The bombshell just misses. Punisher gets out at low HP as well. The thing that really matters down here on bottom is these guys have to land their skill shots. Whoever does, oh, they tailwind to try and catch Tess out, but she blinks to safety.
Wow.
But really, it is all about the skill shots in that bottom lane. Asherbell and Dibs, those short range, or those small AOE's on both of their Q abilities, the Nightmare and the Gale. If they're able to land them, they're gonna have a great time. If they miss them, they're gonna get bullied out of lane, and that's really what's gonna be the deciding factor in the early stages in bottom lane.
Yeah, and Horus Gaming has been doing a great job of consistently landing those Dibs Qs. He was taking a lot of damage in the process, but as you can see, he forced Tess to go back first. So that's a little bit of a win there for RE.NA.
Dibs can out-trade with the Nightmare and the passive procking of the Nightmare stack, so you don't necessarily want to stand there and try to trade with Dibs. But.
Yeah, and in order to pop that Nightmare, Asherbell will have to land a skill shot, so it relies on both people landing them, but they've been doing a great job. Interestingly, Basco went for a reverse full clear, so he took the buffs and then went back through to take the small camps. And now both junglers are near each other on the bottom side of the map.
Take their stuff.
Ping goes down. Oh, but Mara
Scorpio is here. Can he get enough? No, Puppey is going to blink away from the... Oh, now here's Agent Kush on the backside. Initiating in, lands the Revolt. There's the second cast of Onslaught. It stuns 3 people. Final Protocol comes down onto Kush, but I think he's going to survive it. They managed to pick up Faris, but now 8-year-old Girl and Punisher are chasing onto Dibs, but Kush and Puppey Woof Woof are close in pursuit. The Gales are coming down. They're going to try and pick off one more here. Oh, the Snapdragon to traverse the wall there. Puppey Woof Woof gets hit with a backdraft. They're continuing this chase. Agent Kush wants it. Oh, the Gale lands on 8-year-old Girl. The Onslaught lands, and Kush picks up another kill.
Wow. And Smart Camera choosing to take us away from that. Let's go back real quick, and yep, they do get a third one. So yeah, a great counter gank there by Basco. We were talking about how the junglers were nearby. Faris went in, but Mara had missed her Q, which made the gank a bust, basically. Basco came in, and they cleaned up 3 for 0. So even after RE.EU got first blood, RE.NA now firmly in the lead at 3-1.
Ooh, nice use of the Progress Gate and Celerity Shell to get that last bit of harass onto Snitch there.
Yep. Dinero Tiempo, I know he did very well in the Best Nisa World Tournament. A very good carry player. And yeah, like we talked about before, top lane looking pretty
Faris at Parasite. Was he trying to do it? I guess he was. He was trying to maybe sneak it. Faris can solo Parasite with the proper item setup, especially early on here. But he got spotted out on a ward and decided against it.
Yeah, and that would have taken a while, I think, for Faris to do Parasite by himself. I think he probably would have started it on his own, and others might have joined him later on, so as to not give away the plan too early, but yep, nothing doing.
RE.EU actually doesn't have many. They have 1 ward, I think, on the map right now, so they've got to be... they've got to get those wards out so they can get some vision, but now it looks like they might try and sneak a Parasite here. Let's go take a look. No, they're just kind of hanging out in the pit. They don't realize that RE.NA has wards all over the center of the map, so...
Yeah. So a nice try there, an attempted roam from Tess and Mara, but nothing doing for now.
I got my course.
And a nice ward from Renzo will see Basco if he chooses to wrap around the backside of the lane, but it looks like he won't. Both junglers near topside, so if something goes down, they'll be on hand to respond. And a ping does go down on Retwolf's comm. Tess looking for that roam again, but Dibs moved up to counter it.
Varus is here. I don't think they have vision of him. Ooh, Tess misses the empowered bombshell.
Nice jukes there by Pup. Woof, woof.
Look at that harass. You see what happens when they land their skill shots? They've brought down Mara very low, very quickly. Dibs and Asherbell can just spam those Qs over and over and over again and just make it a nightmare, especially for a melee shaper.
No pun intended.
Yeah, but we allow of that.
So, buffs are coming up again. And now I assume the junglers will be tending to that, so we may not see any more ganks for a couple of minutes here. And an 8-year-old.
Uh-oh, Punisher in trouble. Here comes Wrath of Heaven, and it picks up the kill, but Marek stuns Dibs under the binding, but misses the follow-up Snapdragon. He's got to get out because Agent Kush is here, and they have no problem diving. But Mara wisely retreating to the binding.
Yeah, I'm loving the synergy here between Puppy Woof Woof and Horus Gaming. Dibs landed
it's all
the
about
Q.
those skill shots, man.
Yeah, Dibs landed the Q, and immediately Ashabel followed up with that ult to get the kill. Great play there.
So now, RE.NA looking to take Parasite, but the enemy jungler's still alive. Puppy Woof Woof doing his best to zone Faris out, which is doing a nice job of it. Ret Wolf comes to help as well. Dibs using Reverie to get to the fight. Let's see if... Oh no! Scorpio stole it with Vanquish! RE.NA maybe looking for a little revenge, but they get nothing for it, so a big thank you to RE.NA from courtesy of RE.EU, who say, thanks for doing all the heavy lifting on that Parasite. We will take that Parasite, please. And now Horus Gaming looks to be a bit caught out. Final Protocol looks to finish it here, and it will.
Now a splash of ew.
Wow, so Scipio GG basically evening up the game for RE.EU, first stealing Parasite and then killing Horus Gaming. GG indeed. Oh,
there's the Masterpiece out from door for MC, a blink from Tiempo, and Agent Kush interrupts the final payment from Michaela, forcing her to blink away. Misses the Uprising, though, on, I don't know who he was aiming for. He kind of split the uprights between Renzo and Michaela, but a nice counter gank, or not a counter gank from Kush, but a nice engage to prevent the death of his teammates.
Yeah, he absolutely saved his teammate there, so well done to him. And it's pretty much an even game right now. If we look at the items, we can see that Agent Kush, Dinero Tiempo, and Snitch have all picked up an ambition.
Yeah, I'll take a quick look at the items here.
But, yeah, 3 ambitions already. Got a Might for Puppy Woof Woof, Devotion for Horus Gaming, Pestilence for Ret Wolf, Devotion for Door for MC, Prosperity for an 8-year-old girl, and Pride for Punisher.
Now Tess looks to be roaming here up top, maybe looking to make something happen with Varian here, but she's going to get pincered in between, forces to blink.
Yeah, that was a risky spot for her to be in. So blink down there, and she might be a vulnerable target for the next 5 minutes while her blink is down. So everything's settling down, at least for the time being. Top lane, as usual, looking pretty healthy here.
I'd still say this is a pretty even game economy-wise due to the Parasite steal from Spirit side. They're down 2 kills, but they're up a Parasite. No one's lost a binding yet, so I'd still say this is a relatively even game.
Yeah, I would say so. And forgive the sirens in the background. Unfortunately, it's probably not the last time you'll hear that throughout this tournament.
The glories of living in New York City. Now Agent Kush lurking here in the bush in the bottom lane, maybe looking to engage, maybe trying to use Dibs as bait, but it doesn't look like Mara and Tess are biting quite yet.
And Faris moving to top lane, he may look for a gank here, but he's walking right into a ward. So I imagine that will not work out. It looks like he may want to... No, he just wants to get a deep ward. Okay, I like it.
Return on investment.
So RE.NA knows where Scipio GG is. And Horus Gaming and Puppy Woof Woof know they're safe for the time being. Scipio GG was looking to be aggressive there, but now that his buff is back up, I think he'll have to settle for retreating into the jungle and farming some more before he ganks again. Bottom lane, a little harassed between the 2 sides, as Mara puts a very deep ward into the jungle of RE.NA.
This is where Dibs and Ashabel can really shine, though. Pushed up into your binding, harassing you under the binding as you try to get those CS. That's really where that combination is just incredibly potent. It makes them a little bit unsafe if the jungler can manage to sneak behind them as we get into a little fight up here at Money Pigs. Let's see.
RE.EU has to keep in mind that Dibs can fly in here if need be.
Here we go. The initiate onto Faris. He uses flashback to get away, but now Tess and Michaela are here at the fight. Heavy Iron drops, but it doesn't really hit anybody. The melee access memory lands on Barry, and the Wrath of Heaven hits nothing, so nothing doing here at the top Money Pigs.
Yep, almost a huge fight. Horus Gaming wisely not using his Dibs ult to fly in, so he still has that up, which is very important if a fight does break out in the near future.
Puppy and 8-year-old girl trying a 1v1 down here. Tess flying into Snapdragon lands, but Nature's Fury gets the stun, but he's underneath the binding. Nothing else will happen there. Snitch gets caught out with an Empowered Captivate. Just a little more trading.
Yeah, so quite a few ults down if a fight breaks out. Tess, Mara, and Ashabel all have their ults down.
Uh-oh, Dibs gets caught with a backdraft. He's slowed, uses Ripple on himself to purge the slow, and Tailwinds to safety.
So a nice catch there for RE.EU, forcing the Tailwind out of Horus Gaming. Looks like there may be a fight breaking out top lane, but no, the Fear Eggs will allow RE.NA to disengage.
Yeah, one of the most key aspects to King of Masks in that tactician support type role is he's able to. Ooh, Puppy Wolf will force the blink away there, but King of Masks can disengage from just about any fight if he's got his Flourish and Endless Delights up. That AoE Fear Eggs just can really turn a bad situation into a safe one pretty quickly if used correctly.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that RE.EU has the better team fight items. They have a Devotion and a Pestilence, whereas, excuse me, I'm looking at it backwards. RE.NA has the better team fight items with the Devotion and the Pestilence. RE.EU only has the Devotion. So that's something to keep in mind if a fight breaks out here.
Teams posturing around Parasite here.
Yeah, I like the wards from both teams there near the Parasite pit. Some really good vision will allow them to see people roaming if people are looking to take Parasite. And they'll have ganks well scouted.
Tess has already picked up that duress to go along with her pride, so look for RE.EU to use Tess and her her mobility from mount up to potentially catch a stray Shaper, as Punisher and Scorpio now looking to sneak a Parasite here. Dibs and Ashabel are wise to their tricks, but oh, Mara lands a beautiful Snapdragon from long range, but here's the rest of RE.NA. Who is going to get this Parasite? It's going to be RE.NA that gets it. The Masterpiece comes out, Heavy Iron, Agent Kush fires Final Protocol. Will it finish off Snitch? It won't. Or, I mean, Scorpio, I'm sorry. They continue the fight. Now they're focused on the Puppy Wolf. He uses a nice Storm Wall to get some distance, but the Bramble Crush and the Bombshell are too much slow for him to get away from. Dinero falls as well. Red Wolf is the only one left alive for NA, so a very nice 4-for-1 trade for the Spirit side, but Mortal side did get the Parasite, so...
Yeah, now we've seen each jungler steal Parasite from the other team. So, pretty cool, and even though RE.EU won that fight, I'm going to go ahead and say that the steal from RE.NA makes it still pretty much an even game, even with the binding dropping here. However, the first binding of the game is an important one. It will give RE.EU some nice map control. So both junglers, depending on how you look at it, either showing that they can vanquish well or not well.
Get back here!
And I was about to say, that was a risky move there from RE.EU, going for the Parasite. No one on RE.NA was dead, and they went for it anyway, and it was basically a coin toss in terms of which jungler was going to vanquish it, and that time it was Basco.
It's one of the things I'm kind of glad that's been changed, is the Parasite. Normally we haven't been seeing a whole lot of action around the Parasite for a few months here, as Scorpio uses flashback but doesn't use it effectively and gets caught out a bit. But Renzo is here to support, but it's a 4-on-2. Now a 4-on-3. They're continuing the fight onto Scorpio. Can they finish him off? They do. Now Agent Kush trying to escape, but he's stuck on the Bramble Crush as well as a Heavy Iron, and they're continuing to give chase. They're trying to slow with Ashbel. Nice blink masterpiece from Renzo, but the fear, Endless Delights comes in from King of Mass. They're trying to get out of this bad fight, but they keep trading Shapers. So we're down 2 for 2 as they continue this chase, but I think that's going to be it.
Shaper looks promising.
Yeah,
No, maybe not. The Snapdragon lands onto Puppy, but he uses Storm Wall. But the Bramble Crush and the Backdraft, or Bombshell. Backdraft. That's the one.
Agent Kush had a great play there, taking out Scipio GG near his binding, but then he tried to run away straight along Tess ult for a long time, and that's never going to work out, even if you're Basco.
So a little break in the action. We'll get you guys to look at the items here. See, Agent Kush has his Adamants and his Ambition. Puppy Wolf Wolf has the Decay, the Resolve, the Aggression. Getting tanky on Asherbell with a Resolve. Nice to see that. Horus Gaming has the Devotion. Ret Wolf has the Pestilence and a Duress of his own. Dinero Tiempo has, oh, Money Time, I get it. Has an Ambition and a Pain. Over on the Spirit side, Snitch, Ambition, and Pain, along with a Command, building into maybe a Justice. Scorpio has the Pride, the Ambition, the Balance, so going tanky like we kind of thought for Jungle Pharis. Dorper has his Devotion, a Discipline, a Motion. 8-year-old Girl has his Vengeance, a Growth, and a Prosperity. Punisher has the Abolition, has the Duress, and the Pride.
Return on investment.
That's not a sentence you hear often. 8-year-old Girl has his vengeance. I don't think anyone has ever said that before in this English language.
It's the little things, man.
So as we talked about, RE.EU, because they got that binding, they have a lot of map presence here.
Ooh, Agent Kush gets caught out by the Duress.
So you can see that things are starting to shift toward the base of RE.NA. And now RE.EU pinging that other binding, the Tier 3 binding on bot side. So they'll look to establish even more map control by sieging that. And they may just get it here. I don't think RE.NA is in a position to contest. I think they have to give it up. And they do.
A mortal binding got
So
smashed in
2 bindings to 0 for RE.EU. And with the kill lead, I think that puts them in the lead here. I think we've a leader.
Yeah, they've traded Parasites, 1-1-1, but Spirit side has the kill advantage and the 2 bindings advantage, so it's not a big advantage, but it is something.
Yep, and now it's on RE.NA to find a way to get back into this game. They do have a lot of pick potential. They have Basco, they have Calm. They could catch someone on RE.EU. I think the best target for that would be Tess, because you have 2 tanky people in Renzo and Mara and 2 people with escapes in Michaela and Pharis. So they'd love to catch a roaming Tess here. You can see Punisher there, scooting by as the Parasite respawns.
Michaela forcing down this binding. She can't quite finish it. Varian uses Chaos Shell to chase her back.
return on investment.
And as the rest of RE.EU looks to maybe go for this Parasite, but they seem to be deciding against it.
Yeah, they thought better of it. Last time they did that, it resulted in the Parasite getting stolen. So they want to get a kill before they start Parasite. Or, never mind, they're just going for it anyway.
They have the positioning for it. They see Asherbell on the well. They know, if anything, it'll only be 4 members. Here's the Wrath of Heaven looking for the steal, but it's a little too soon. But here's the rest of Mortal. Now, will they look to go maybe for the steal? Basco coming around the backside. Spirit gets it, though, and Basco forced the blitz to get out of dodge.
Yeah, Basco needed to...
Wow, they are chasing hard, though. Blinks coming down. Heavy Iron coming down. Dibs flying in. Michaela blinks as well. Mara blinks, and Snapdragons gets the stun onto Basco, and they pick him off. Dibs is forced to blink away. King of Mass throws down a nice Captivate to slow the rest of the pursuit, but RE.EU is kind of getting the steamroll going now. They've got the snowball rolling down the hill. Can they continue to let it build up speed and put this game away?
Yeah, really nice job there by RE.EU. Initially, when they saw Dibs show himself, they said, no, we're not going to go for it because Dibs can just fly in. But when Asherbell showed herself at the other Spirit Well, that was the cue for them to go in. And Agent Kush tried to steal, but he needed to jump over the wall to be in range to vanquish the Parasite, and he just didn't get close enough in time.
A well was taken by the Spirit team.
Parasite really being the deciding factor in the flow of this game right now. Both teams just going for the aggressive fights at Parasite, forcing the issue. 8-year-old girl gets locked down a bit underneath, but Snapdragons to her Tree of Life for safety.
Yeah, that's a tanky Mara who's ahead and has Parasite buff. She'll be just fine.
Yeah, we can see she's got about 3,100 health. The Masterpiece comes out from Renzo, knocks up 4 people. They focus onto Agent Kush. CPO goes in, but flashes back into a finale from King of Masks. Now RE.EU is on the run. They take out Tess. They chase onto Mara. They're looking to finish her off here. They get her, and I think that will be it. But RE.EU gets the binding, but loses 2 members for it.
Yeah, and right now, if nothing else happens, I'm going to say that was worth it for RE.EU to get the binding. They'll lose this binding as well, though. RE.EU wisely backing off. There's no way they can contest that 3v5. The question is, do they lose this binding? If they lose this one, then taking the original binding of RE.NA's was not worth it, but it looks like they won't lose it.
I don't think they're going to force this too hard.
So critically, RE.NA establishing some map control of their own by taking down a binding on the bot side. They're really trying to force this binding here. If they get it, it's big, and they do get it. So nice play there. Bot lane is wide open. Neither team has any bindings except for the tier 3 on that side of the map. And now RE.NA rotating to the tier 3 binding top side. Which it looks like they'll just get.
Yeah, they can. If this, it's only a tier 1 binding. It's not super strong. It's late enough in the game as we are now like solidly into the mid game here.
So it looks like RE.EU really forcing the issue bottom lane for that tier 2 binding actually cost them dearly. They lost 3 bindings as a result. So absolutely not worth for RE.EU, and great job by RE.NA capitalizing and being willing to engage so hard even though they were behind. They saw the opportunity and they went for it, and now it's pretty much an even game. And in fact, RE.NA has actually killed more bindings at this point.
Yeah.
Or
oh, well, no, they haven't. No, they haven't.
RE.EU.
Yeah. One. But they've closed the gap to just 1 binding left for NA-EU as far as in the lane.
I knew this NA-EU stuff would trip me up.
Yeah, it's a struggle.
Yep.
Now the duress catches Punisher and the empowered King of Masks. Will it finish? Oh, the uprising from over the well. It gets him. But now 8-year-old girl zoned with the rest of the team. Dorfer blinks in, lands the Masterpiece. The final protocol goes on to Basco. They pick him off. Mara now giving chase onto Red Wolf. Here comes final payment. It will pick him as well. There are 4 members left for Spirit and only 3 left for Mortal. Will they continue the chase? I think that's going to be it.
Yeah, a nice fight for RE.EU there.
Yeah, even though they got picked early on, Tess got picked off, but 8-year-old girl came around and zoned the rest of RE.NA away, while Basco jumped over the wall and he had nowhere to escape to after they picked up Tess. So they went a little too hard to secure that Tess kill, and then they ended up having to pay for it, even though they were the ones who initiated the fight by picking her to begin with.
Yeah, and that's the second time that's happened this game where Agent Kush has successfully assassinated someone. The first time it was Faris, but then he was unable to escape, and I think that's partially a result of RE.NA having a squishy lineup, as we discussed earlier on during the draft. So when RE.EU is attacking the front line, they're all going to be attacking Basco.
Quick look at the items once again. Puppy Woof Woof has that Divinity and Destruction, so Asherbell's going to really start to hurt now. Horus Gaming's picked up a Hostility, which is really nice to see. I think that's one of the more underrated items that support Scat, as we see RE.EU looking to sneak another Parasite here. Not necessarily sneak, they just kind of go, hey guys, it's time to fight at Parasite once again.
Yep, and Dibs has no ult. He cannot join here. He has to walk up, and that's going to take a while. And this Parasite will go to RE.EU.
Oh, and they catch Puppy Woof Woof in the fray, so they get a kill and Parasite. So that was definitely a huge advantage swing now for the Spirit team.
Yeah, and you can see Punisher saying in chat there, no dibs, no dibs. And that's exactly why they went for that, because Dibs did not have ult. So Really nice job by Punisher there to recognize the opportunity to take free para. And now, it looks like it'll be a free tier 3 binding as well. It does go down.
There's the finale on 3 members of the Spirit team. They catch Red Wolf out. He drops. Basco's in there. He picks up Tess, but he's all alone pretty much. Only Varian, and he's getting easily zoned away. Basco falls. Michaela gives chase onto Varian. Blinks for the kill. Does pick it up. Sorry, he blinked faster than the camera moved. And now maybe EU finishes the game here.
Ashabel, because she got caught at Parasite so early, will be up now, and it'll be on her to defend against 4 members of RE.EU, and it'll be really tough.
Michaela, though, avoiding that first Gale. If she's able to do that, she can just fire off so many auto attacks onto Ashabel. They are systematically taking out all of the cores, 3 fall at once, and now the focus is onto the Guardian. I don't think NA has enough to stop. The Wrath of Heaven tries to disinterest the Spirit side, but that's not going to be it, and EU will take game 1, or get a win.
Yeah, well, there's only one game in group stage.